Basically, just like every young kid, did stage acting in their late 70s, and that included 76, 77, 78. Was pretty good at that, and after a while, eventually got inspired enough to read a few books and come to Los Angeles and made the big leap in 1981. The process is real simple. Just put your butt in the chair and sit your ass down and write. And you have to keep doing it until you develop, you know, a good sense of story and a good sense of, you know, capturing the moment of what you want to translate to the screen. One of the great screenwriters of our time, John Milius, he recommends that all you have to do is 2 pages a day. And even though that may seem not too daunting, the idea is that you have to do that week in and week out. And if you're a good writer and you spend 2-3 pages a day that you are able to deliver and get done, at the end of the year you can have 2 or 3 scripts. So it's about a discipline and a sizable number, like 2 to 3 pages a day. That's really all you have to do, and pages that you will be comfortable with when you look at them, you know, 5-10 years later down the road. The book that got me started in the whole game, you can look at the dog-eared copy, which is the Bible. Came out in about 1983 or early 80s. It's William Goldman's Adventures in the Screen Trade, and he's written some pretty fantastic movies. Marathon Man, Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid, Princess Bride, Misery, just to name a few. One of the films that you know, inspired me right about that time to come to LA was this one called Sharky's Machine by a writer called Gerald DePego. And basically you're going to look at the writers who are the best in the game at the time that you decide to want to make that move. And what you want to do is try and take the best of their influences, and when you sit down to write your story and you look at your screenplay structure format, you want to make sure that the same things that capture you are going to capture an audience and reflect on the screen. I came up in the era of the 70s. I saw the films of Clint Eastwood, Burt Reynolds. It was 70s filmmakers, though, that were really, they would inspire you, but, you know, the films were deeper than you were. If you're a young kid and you're watching a Coppola film, a Scorsese film, the Watergate era, All the President's Men, The Sting, 3 Days of the Condor, it's easy to lean out from the political thrillers and go into, you know, the history of the time, whereas you want to move into things like James Bond and the action genre, which included Lucas and Spielberg, which was something that was easier for a younger, you know, viewer to get. And so I'm inspired by both genres, the guys who are a lot smarter than me and much better filmmakers, and then the guys that just said, hey, it's about popcorn, it's about entertainment. And it's a combination of the two that you want to bring together. And like I said, my best writers that I look to as the geniuses that inspired me were William Goldman, Gerald DePego, David Ward, and Mario Puzo of The Godfather. Who would I like most to work with? So the person that I would most like to work with as an actor to have spoken my words of a screenplay would be Sean Connery. In the late 80s, I was trying to put together a James Bond project that starred all 3 James Bonds. It had Sean Connery, Roger Moore, Pierce Brosnan, based on the hook that Sean's character has a 28-year-old son. So we spent, you know, maybe 12 years trying to come up with this wonderful concept that we believe evolved into a wonderful script called For Here and Now, Your Majesty, which was never made, but it was a wonderful idea. As far as actor, Definitely Sean Connery would be the cream of the crop. You can't get any better than that. The hardest thing to do that I've learned over 20 years is to be a writer. It just is that difficult, I think. To be a paid writer, to be a successful writer in film, it is it's the most difficult thing to accomplish and to create a steady body of work. If you talk to any studio head that's running a studio today and you ask them, they say, well, we can always find a great director. We can always find a great lighting technician. You know, you go to school, you learn how to direct. We can find a great lighting technician. We can find good producers. We can find good sound people. We can find, you know, good lighting people. The most difficult job is that whoever comes out of film school, whoever comes out of whatever passionate ideas they have and is trying to be a writer, that is the most difficult thing, to hone your craft, to get down into 120 pages. But the best thing is to be able to tell a good story and have something that you're very passionate about and put it in a format that in the 120 pages and 3 acts that you're going to be comfortable with, and you feel that a movie audience is going to be comfortable with viewing and taking you go with them along in that journey. And you want to remain passionate throughout the entire time that you're writing it. And that's easier said than done, but the great ones do it.